How you doing? This goes DeCarlo. We're going to continue on with our prosperity series, and what we want to do is debunk some myths about money because many of you are blocked and you don't even realize that you're blocked. Many of us have 400 years of programming behind us, and we don't even realize that that programming exists. We just see money as something bad because that's what we've been told, and that's what our parents have been told, and that's what their parents have been told. But this was a program that was set out by the early church, and the goal was to separate you from your money. Now, what's the best way to separate someone from their money? If you believe that money is evil, then you're more apt to give money away. We're going to talk about the scripture where Paul is speaking to his disciple Timothy. First and foremost, we're going to come from the King James Version, and then we're going to come from the New American Standard Version. But let's do the King James Version first. It says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some have coveted after, they have erred from the faith and have pierced themselves through with many sorrows." Now, after hearing that, who wouldn't want to be rid of their money, especially in this light? And like I said, Paul was reaching out to Timothy just to warn him to be wise in his interactions and don't be, as it were, led away in the ministry solely by money. But let me go on and read now the New American Standard Bible. It says this: "For the love of money is the root of all sorts of evil, and some by longing for it have wandered away from the faith and have pierced themselves with many griefs." The first one said, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." And that's where many of us stand. We hear, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." Now, of course, that's impossible because there's many things that take place that have very little to do with money. Sometimes you have a relationship where there's three people involved and it goes violent, for example. There was no money exchange in that. It was a relationship of love, let's say. And so we know that money isn't the root of every evil. People that may do something that's harmful to another person that has nothing to do with money, but money is the root of all sorts of evil. And some, by longing for it, have wandered away from the faith, what it is that they believe, and have pierced themselves with many griefs. What we discover is it's not that everybody that has money is bad, nor is money itself the root of all evil. It says, "For the love of money." Now, when we're talking about this word love, this is not just a love where, it's nice to have money. This is somebody that will do anything for money. They will cause harm. They will harm people just for money at any price. This is the type of love that we're talking about when we're talking about money. They call it licentiousness. And this is just such a deep, dark love at all costs for money. Paul says to Timothy, for this type of love, is the root of all sorts of evil. Many of us use money as our livelihood, and we use money as a tool to bless. Just recently, one of my coaching clients had sent me a love gift just out of the blue. And I was so appreciative because they didn't have to do that, but they used their money to say thank you and to send me a blessing. So we can use money for good and understand that money is nothing more than a tool. And depending upon what you do with that tool will determine the outcome of that tool. Let's say a hammer, for example, is a tool. Now, we can use that hammer to build a building, or we can use that hammer to cause harm and hurt someone. So that same tool has the ability to give life or to bring about death. And likewise with money, money is nothing more than a tool. And as I stated in another talk, money is nothing more than a medium of exchange. And the medium that we're talking about is life force or energy. And we've agreed to say, listen, I'll give you this in exchange of what you've done with your life force for what it is that I've done with my life force, and the medium of exchange is money. So when we're talking about money, let's understand that money in and of itself isn't evil. But like I said, when we're talking about the love of money, we're talking about a licentiousness, this kind of coveted anything for money at any cost for money. These are the folks that they don't care who they harm, just as long as they can get a few more dollars. They don't care who they cheat, as long as they can get a few more dollars. That's the inappropriate love of money. Now, you can have a healthy love for money and understand the good that money can do in the world and begin using your money as such. Understand this, when we're talking about the love of money, it doesn't mean love across the board because we know that there's various forms of love. But we're talking about that love that's so deep and so harmful to the individual that it causes that individual to harm others in order to get more money. It says that, and some by longing for it have wandered away from the faith. Now, faith is that thing that you say that you believe. Now, when we're talking about faith, I like to say that faith is a favorable anticipation in thought tale. What is it that you want to manifest in your life? In order to manifest that thing, will you get to the place where you'll do anything for money in order to manifest that desire? Then you're wandered away from what it is that you say that you believe. Many people step away from what it is that they say that they believe for this thing called money. They lose their own personal identity. They begin to practice things that are not lined up with integrity, honesty. They're not doing it from a place of love. If what it is that you're doing isn't from a place of love, then you've wandered away from the faith. My goal in talking about money is helping you understand that money is nothing more than a tool. And depending upon what you do with that tool will determine the outcome of that tool. But first and foremost, if you want to live from a place of prosperity, Jesus says this, that I've come that you may have life and that you may have it more abundantly. We know that God, universe, whatever you believe about source, isn't against money, but it's what we do with money. Now, and again, it doesn't just stop with money, it's anything that we do with the tools in life, those things that are given to us to be a blessing. But if we're not blessing ourselves as well as others with those things that we've received, then we've strayed away from the faith or that thing that we say that we believe. Now, when we understand this, many people, when they have money, money becomes detrimental to them because they mishandle or misuse the tool called money. When you become a wise steward and you begin serving others from a place of love, then you've placed yourself in that category of the person that says, give and it shall be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will people pour in your laps. If you want to live the more abundant life, begin seeing how you can use the money, the resources you have to not only bless yourself, but be a blessing to others. And as you find yourself being a blessing, then the return is going to be that you're going to be blessed. And like I stated, when the blessings come, they don't come as the single blessing that you sent out. They come pressed down, shaken together, running over. And this is to give you a picture of grain in a basket. When they poured grain into a basket, they would pour so much grain, there would be overflow. So you would have to shake the basket so some of the grain would drop to the bottom and so that you can make room for more. And it's saying that the blessings of God for those who give from a place of love is that you will not only receive, you'll receive pressed down, shaken together, running over. Remember this, creators, that only you can create your perfect world, not God or man. Only you can create your perfect world. This is Coach DeCarlo and have a great and abundant day.